Hello, everybody. Welcome back from the break for the second block of this Service Design Global Conference 2020. I'm Mark. I'll be the host for this block and one in the afternoon. So you're lucky. Good to see you're back. I see already people in the chat. You might have seen my face before or heard my voice on the Service Design show. That's a thing that I host. And I'd love to know if there are some people watching or listening to the show. Raise your hand in the chat so I'll know that the chat is working and that I'll know that some of the audience is here. Let's see. What else? There are so many cool things going to happen in this blog. I'm really excited. By the way, I'm hosting this from my living room in the Netherlands right now, as many people are sitting at home, some from the kitchen, some from the living rooms, and some from their bedrooms, probably. If you haven't found the chat yet, it's next to the live stream in Slido. I'll be monitoring that, and I'll also be using that for the Q&A. So if you have questions, make sure that you post them there. I see a lot of raised hands, which is awesome. There's also a mural board. We'll share the link to that where you can leave some feedback about the session, give tips, things that you like. Gemma will share the link there. Also, many people who watch the show. Let's move on into the first speaker of this blog. I asked her what was her first memory of service design, which you might recognize this question. And she said it's probably a design jam or the service experience camp in Berlin. Miriam Bernia is the co-founder of the Service Design Drinks in Milan. She recently joined Politecnico in Milano as an adjunct professor. She's the lead strategy and service design at Open Knowledge. And this talk will be really interesting because it's going to be about the fact that design is everywhere. It's not just in studios. It's everywhere. Everybody is basically doing design. So how are designers evolving these days to stay relevant in this complex world, which is getting more and more complex? What is the role that we have in the ecosystem, and what does hybridness mean for our identity? And if there's one thing you remember from this talk is the fact that design is a purposeful choice. If you have questions for Miriam, leave them in the Q&A. I'll be monitoring that. And now I want to invite you to give a very big round of virtual applause for Miriam Bernia.
Hi guys, thank you Mark, thank you very much for your introduction, and as we have very small time and a lot of content to share, I'm going just to pass to the presentation. Okay, thank you very much, and let's start with the party. Let's share this. Let me know when you see my desk. Do you see it right now? Yeah, okay, I will go. Okay. Hi guys, I'm Miriam Pernia, and yes, we're going to talk about the subject of transforming designers. Okay, so we're going to go through an overview of our research that we're running right now. There is indicating the evolution of the role of the designer. Okay, but before starting, of course, I need to introduce myself. And actually, I dress equal, so you can recognize me. And I'm kidding. I'm Miriam Pernia. I'm from Venezuela. Okay, I graduated as a product designer in Venezuela, and then here in Milan, I'm based in Milan, Italy right now, and I came here to do a Master of Strategic Design. I think I really liked a lot because I have a very long-term relationship with Milan until now. It's been already 8 years. And in this journey, I've been working for startups, and right now I'm working for a management consultant that dedicate its services to digital transformation. So we're working either for consumers, for the employee, the organizational ecosystems, okay? And I'm the strategy and service design lead of Open Knowledge in this sense. But this is quite boring. I'm just going to pass to the fun part of introducing myself. That is the fact, as Mark mentioned, I'm one of the co-founders of Service Design Drinks Milan, a wonderful initiative that was born in 2015, okay? Has a series of events to try to contaminate each other. but very soon it became a community, okay, a very established community. And right now I like to call that Service Design Drinks Milan actually is a place of experimentation. And why I'm saying this, because the initiative that we're going to introduce today that is called Transforming Designer, it was born in the middle of all these people, all these drinks, all this content, okay? So, but when you do beautiful stuff, you just don't do it by yourself. You do it with an amazing team. And actually, this is the amazing team that is behind the curtains of Service Design Drinks and Transforming Designers. We are designers and non-designers. We are also digital marketers, data analysts, and video makers, and product designers. We are a bunch of things because we really believe in hybridness, let's say. And we put all these people together to try to create cool things. Thank you, guys. So let's introduce the theme of today. So transforming designers, actually. What does it mean, transforming designers? Transforming designers right now is a collaborative research to assess, discuss, and envision the evolution of the role of the designer around the world, okay? But actually this title was born in 2017 as a format of event of Service Design Drinks Milan, okay? Where we started debating with different experts coming from different fields, the evolution of the role. Right now, we decided to formalize it into a research. And what does it mean when we do a research in this sense? We are, of course, designers and researchers at the end of the chapter. And actually what we're mixing is a quantitative and a qualitative research, okay, with three main initiatives. The first one is the Global Snapshot. That basically is a survey where we are trying to map the different profiles, design profiles emerging around the world. The second one is called Designer's Voice. That are basically interviews that we're doing to designers, the one that get really the hands dirty, okay, to try to understand their journey in this discipline, but also the way that they are mutating in their current workplaces, okay. And then the third one is called Expert Talks, and has the title says we're bringing experts to talk about the foundations and the future perspective of design. So this is what we're bringing today. And actually, we're not doing this alone. We're doing this thanks to the partnership that we are habilitating with different kind of communities such as us, so peer communities such as Service Design Drinks in Berlin, Munich, New York, Toronto, and so on, to try to create an international dialogue on this theme, because as we can observe, design is evolving in many, many, many shades, and we need to understand what shapes is taken on. So thank you guys, because these guys are active participants of this research. Thanks to this partnership that we wanted to complicate, but at the same time create a more meaningful research, we reached these numbers. We have 300 survey answers, okay, that we are showing today, and we interviewed 28 designers, and then we have made 3 events, okay, since 2017. It's worth to mention that these events were placed in Milan, and the last event that we did before COVID, it was in New York City. So we brought the discussion there. So let's try to start and understand what this partnership brought us. What this partnership is bringing to us is an heterogeneous spectrum to give you more answers and to give you a more wide overview of what we're going to see today, okay? So we are having insights from Europe, Asia, North America, and South America today. The idea is to enlarge it and to balance it much more. So let's try to start entering into the content today. I'm going to show you a little bit of the data that we're collecting and reflecting on some of the things that we're seeing, okay? So the first subject is called Design is Serving in Different Type of Realities. Yes, this is not new for us. We're not longer only working in design studios. We're working a lot, as we can see, in private companies and in business consultants. And this match with the trend that the fact many consultancies are buying design studios, and we're working in many, many other places right now, many other contexts. We're applying design the same, but not the same fields. Why I'm saying this? Because of course we are we're working with service design, we're working with experience design, we're working with product design, but at the same time, we are seeing new trends that are emerging. That is the fact that design strategy is quite enlarging its space in design, and also the part of organizational design, and also change management. So these are things that we are seeing that things are evolving for sure. Today, our role is not only to design, and this is a fact, okay? Actually, as we can see here, we are designers and we're designing, but at the same time, we're becoming other kind of characters. We're becoming design leads, we're becoming design managers, so we need to deal with other kind of things. But also one of the things that emerged that is quite interesting for us is the fact that we're not only orchestrating services, we're orchestrating projects, and we're doing it a lot. So designers are becoming much more project managers right now. And also one of the things, the new things that is quite emerging is the fact that we are seeing how, we are also selling design. So we're becoming accounts. So we are selling and negotiating what design means. So these are a series of things that we wanted to show you and to tell you that, yes, we are in a continuous transformation. It's a fact, it's not a doubt, it's not a question, it's a fact, and it's running very, very fast. And from these facts that we're seeing, we declare this statement that is called "The word design is still the same. The act of design has been disrupted." Okay, but what does it really mean that actually? So we're going to go through 4 aspects we identified of this disruption that we're living right now. And it's going to be through paradoxes, opposites of or complementaries, okay? So the first thing that we observe is design in business is necessary or it loses its power. What does it mean when we talk about this? We talk about this, about the necessary part when we talk about the fact that we started going to different kind of contexts and new contexts. So design studios, from the private companies to the public sector to the startup and so on, the business consultant situation. What is telling us is the fact that we needed to be there, and this is quite nice. And what this allowed to design, it was to reach new sectors, to reach new mid-large enterprises that probably before we didn't reach, and this is cool. So it was necessary, cool. What we're seeing also that is necessary is the fact that we started entering a very humble way in these realities, making small things, so a journey, a product or something. And right now we are the ones who are in the middle of the big conversations with the big people. So we're talking, it's very normal for designers right now to talk with the CEOs, to talk with the head of the head of the head, to talk with managers, but not only that, it's the fact that it was necessary, or how design is evolving has to be such a strategic discipline within this context, is the fact also that we're not only talking with innovation department or with marketing department, we're talking in a 360-degree with all the departments of the company. So from the IT, from the HR, from the product, from the innovation. And this is the way that we declare that it was necessary and that the design is being received in this new context, okay? So this is one of the things that we're saying, okay, it was necessary, but why are we saying that it loses its power? Because when you enter in this new mechanism, okay, you're entering in a new context where mechanism and new logics you need to adapt, okay? And we designers were used to work in some ways, and right now we're transforming the way that we approach these projects. And what is happening is the fact that, you know, we're dealing with timing that are being reduced, with budgeting that are being reduced, with the fact that the context is complex and organizations need to act fast, to fail fast, to innovate fast. And we are there trying to follow them. And actually this last reflection about it, does it lose its power? I don't know, we're being resilient and we're transforming right now in that moment. What it links is the fact that we enter into the second subject, that is creativity versus making sense, okay? We're talking that we're creative, but this timing and this budgeting probably is not allowed the time for creativity, but at the same time, there is something that is emerging that is quite important. There is the fact that designers are doing a lot of making sense. And when I talk about making sense, I'm going to talk about 4 aspects, more or less. The first aspect that we can try to understand how we're making sense of things is the part that we are more frequently orchestrating the project before the project starts. And what does it mean? That we are converging people, stakeholders, disciplines, and approaches to try to guarantee an optimal result. And we are doing this. On the other hand, one of the other things that we're doing is the fact that we are adopting or creating new methods and new tools to try to create facts in a very fast way. So we need to create solutions in a fast way. We're creating all these methodologies, or nevertheless, we are combining and bringing other methodologies to us and try to create a convergence to try to create solutions. So while we are talking about Agile or Scrum and try to merge all these approaches together to try to, fit in. Of course, in this journey, we have found the fact that we are finding ourselves a little bit lost because we say the design needs to stay meta, but at the same time, there is no time to, reflect a lot. We just need to act. So we're acting, we're being resilient, but at the same time, we're adapting a lot. At the same time, when I talk about making sense in this sense, is the fact that we are serving also in a different way the companies. Of course, we're conceptualizing, of course, we are mapping journeys, but at the same time, we are bringing direction and guidance to these organizations. We're supporting processes, okay? We became catalysts among different stakeholders, among different departments, among different disciplines. This is something design has gained during this year. And actually, when we talk about design and when we remember why we became designers, probably this fact becomes a little bit less dreamy. But this is the way that design is becoming much more integrated within the organization. And the third fact that I want to talk to you is the fact of vertical and hybrid. Okay, we are seeing a lot the fact that we are becoming a little bit more hybrid, okay? And when I talk about that is because we graduated as service designers, strategic designers, product designers, whatever designer that we are right now. But in the context that we're finding ourselves and the task that we need to do are requiring a continuous upgrading of the knowledge and the skills that we have. For example, the people who are strategizing a lot are acquiring a lot of knowledge, a lot of concept of business. And it's not like we can remain in a level, we need to go beyond, because if we are really need to provoke change in those organizations, we need to start talking their languages. The second example that I pose here is the fact of technology. Technology arrived, poof, and everything was, okay, a little bit changed. It changed culturally. It changed the way that we act right now. And what happened is that you cannot take artificial intelligence and put it in a journey right now. You need to interpret artificial intelligence and how that artificial intelligence is going to live in the entire experience that you are trying to do. And to do that, you cannot remain very high level with the concept of technology. You have to go through it. You're not going to become the expert, but you really need to empathize also to try to really interpret and create meaningful and responsible projects. The third one is the fact that we are becoming more leaders, and leaders need very much soft skills, okay? So in this way, we're saying we're becoming more hybrid. But at the same time, when I talk about verticality, it's because we, from vertical, are becoming hybrid, but at the same time, the context is needing for new verticalities. With the boom of technology, what it was from user interaction or user interface or user experience, it's becoming voice designer. And those voice designers are crafters because they are creating what it needs to be done depending on the subject that you're dealing with. And this is some of all the things that we are observing. Is it complicated? Probably. But we are just getting dirty in hands-on on the practice or integrating by yourself in that side. Is it confusing? Yes, it's a little bit confusing because this is playing a lot on the perception of ourselves as designers and what kind of designer are we? So we are asking ourselves about our own design identity, but is it a threat or is it an opportunity? The fourth one that I want to take in is the fact that the value, okay, the value of design, and we are going through to the values is in the process or in the solution. And when I'm talking about the value, I'm talking, of course, about measurement, okay? I'm talking about the fact that metrics right now are such a hashtag in our life right now, but also it is such a hashtag in design. And I'm going to bring two kind of cases here. There is the case of the fact that we are very near to the business, and everything that we are designing, so the solution needs to be linked to a metric, because we need to prove that what we are creating are creating tangible results to that company. So what we're doing is supporting business and creating new KPIs frameworks, probably, or creating new experiences and trying to understand what step of the experience or the product we're going to measure. And this is something that we cannot live anymore without. This is something that we need to carry right now as part of the mantra of design right now. But at the same time, there is something that is happening. There are a lot of designers trying to prove the impact of design. And this is another discourse, because if we want to indicate this, we can dedicate an entire conference to it, because it's quite wide. And when we talk about the impact of design, we're talking probably about the process of design and what impact during the process, or what cultural change this design brings to an organization or to the society itself. But what we have found out is that many designers are trying to prove this. We're trying there to prove the impact of design, and actually are creating some frameworks, okay, that are mixing probably qualitative aspect with quantitative, so business metrics, to try to merge them, to try to create something. But at the same time, in all these discussions that we have had with many different designers, the question at the end is, okay, why do we need so bad to prove the impact of design? Okay, so the reflection here is, okay, what question do we really need to answer? To whom are we measuring? Okay, what stakeholder is he asking for it? So we need to be very carefully about the fact to what question are we answering, and why are we really measuring the impact of design when we're saying that the impact of design might be cultural. Okay, so this is the last aspect that I wanted to share. And yes, I'm running because we have very little time, but it seemed that all these stories that I'm telling you, or all these narratives that I'm telling you, it seems like we were running and we forgot why, okay? Because we were there adapting and we didn't ask, because, you know, you just needed to do and do and do. And this is the part where it's linked, this third part of the presentations, okay? I think design should be the one going back to the big questions. And I think we need to go back to the big questions of what was our purpose when we became designers, and where is the state of art right now while we were running without looking behind, and how all this transformation that we are having right now is linked to that purpose, and how that purpose might evolve into the future. And to talk about the future, we ask those designers, what would be the role of the designer in the future? And what's interesting here is that design in the future looks more empathic than ever, okay? And what it's interesting here is that we're seeing that most of the people answer that design should have an ethical role and a strategic role, create a role that links human and machine, that create the right interactions, and also the role of prototype the future. And this is something interesting. And actually each of these subjects opens a bunch of concepts, a bunch of new knowledge that probably we need to indicate what is a role, what are we talking about in a horizontal way, but also in a vertical way in each of these concepts. And of course, we need to continuously grow in this sense. I'm finishing the presentation with these final takeaways. So we have a lot of information, but we will find some places to share it with you guys. But the key takeaways of this is our transformation does not have frontiers. If we are feeling that we're in a continuous transformation, it's not going to be, limited. We're going to continue because the context is required. The thematics, the themes that we are dealing with are increasing every day. So we need to continually acquire new knowledge and reframe our approach, because timing, budget, and all the things are required that we produce. And also the last but not least, as it's like, let's build our own story, connecting our purpose to our fluid design identity. Let's not be afraid to be hybrid. The part of being hybrid today probably is coming with such a benefit, but such as misconfusion, also because the perception of the companies could be one thing, and the thing that you could give is a lot of more. But let's not doubt of ourselves as designers, because all the things that we are learning right now and that we are practicing right now, it's going to work for tomorrow. So thank you for everything. And to find out more, please go to this website and join this movement of transforming designers. Thank you very much. And this is the end.
Thank you, Miriam. I saw a lot of good comments and questions in the chat, so that's awesome. Like with every survey or research, I'm sure that it leads to more new questions, which I'm really curious about to hear later in the Q&A.